So we're here in St. Louis at the Academy of International Business Southeast USA Chapter Conference and the Global X Culture Symposium. And so we just had an interesting session where Karen and Sydney talked a little bit about the X Culture coaching program. And so I thought let's record a short video to tell the world what this coaching program is.
Okay, I'll kick it off and then we'll just talk a little bit about our experience with it. Several years ago, Voss came to me to say, I have this group of students that they liked X culture so much that they wanted to do it twice, and they did, and then some wanted to do it 3 times, and he said, maybe there's a better way for us to utilize their skill set. And so he formalized this coaching program where students would be available to answer questions from around the world for other students that said, hey, I've got a team member that I can't find, or can you please look at my report to make sure that we're on track, and so forth. So there was this small self-managed group of students, and they would come and go, and he asked me to get a little bit more involved just to formalize some processes around it. So I did, and from there, we've really seen this amazing group of young people from around the world that have formalized this coaching program. So the way that it works is every semester there's a call for participants from...
So that's from the past generation.
From the past generation of students that have completed the project. And so they'll participate in 4 weeks of theoretical training. They'll learn about coaching best practices. They'll put webinars together. They'll do some deep teamwork together. And then they have the rest of the program, about 4 weeks plus, where they're receiving questions from around the world from students that need a little bit of coaching advice and so forth. So there's a lot of programming that goes around it. And so, as you can see
So who are those people again?
These are the coaching program leaders. So I'm faculty advisor. I'm in the background. I'm just giving some support, but you have Drew in the center here, a PhD student in France that is directing the program and coordinating with Ezekiel here that's been involved with the program for many years from Singapore. He put together our XCRM program, which is the automated system where we receive tickets from around the world, and he pushes them out to all of the coaches to help out. We have Leon from South Africa, Sonia, who's responsible for our AA program, which is the Administrative Assistantship program, and they provide feedback to students on their weekly submissions. And so at this point, maybe it's good for me to segue to one of our coaching managers, but these are all people from around the world that come and go. Some have been involved with the program for many years, some come in for a semester and give their very best work on a volunteer basis. So Sydney, if you talk a little bit about why did you get involved in coaching and what do you do in the program?
Yes, well, I participated in X Culture in the fall of 2023 and I loved it. I actually had a very great experience and I feel very fortunate for that. My teammates were great. Of course, we experienced some challenges that we were able to navigate.
Which is good because that's how you learn.
Yes, definitely. And it was a learning experience for sure. But it was very rewarding. And I remember that I also seeked out coaching. And it was very helpful. The coach provided us, I didn't really know what to expect whenever I submitted that request for coaching. But thankfully, the coach that reached out was so helpful and insightful. And that ultimately allowed us to enhance our report. And then, of course, whenever I received that invitation to join the coaching program, I could not turn that down. And so next thing I know, last semester was my first semester in the coaching program. And again, the theoretical training, the practical phase, learning how to evaluate reports and provide constructive feedback. But more than that, the experience for me is about meeting people from different cultures, and a lot of times it's realizing that, we're actually not different. As far as a lot of our personalities are similar. Of course, there are shared values. Of course, there are different values. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just you find a community that we all share similar ambition and goals. That's why we're all here together, and we want to expand our awareness and our cultural sensitivity, and ultimately just be a part of.
And you guys, you become like a close group. So I see the invitations sometimes or just on my calendar. So you have like separate meetings of coaches only, and some of them are fun and some of them are training and some of them are experience sharing, right? Is that how you do it? And those are what, weekly or how to?
Yes.
To be honest again, so there used to be a time when I had to manage everything, then I managed less. And now so much is going on that I'm not even keeping up. So I just see all kinds of things popping up on the calendar. So you do not only advise students, but you have your own whole track going on?
Yes. So The coaches, we all meet every Saturday, 11 at EST, and we do something, whether it's the theoretical phase or practical training, we learn about that, but we also do culture exchange during these webinars as well. Also, developing the webinar was one of the things that the coaches do, which is really interesting because, one, you get to work on those small teams with different coaches that you haven't met yet and learn how to develop those and facilitate them. But also on Sundays with the AA program, we work with Sonia, the AA program director. We meet on Sundays, 11 a.m. EST, and that is where the client experts and the coaches that are in the AA program get together, and that's where we talk about developing those weekly milestone advice sheets, which ultimately serves to enhance the challenge instructions and help students better develop their reports.
Very, very professionalized. And how many coaches do we normally have these days in a given semester?
50 to 60. We'll have a lot that sign up, but then it is a lot of work. There's a lot of dedication. And so currently we have 55, and so we'll likely graduate about 55.
Well, it's great help because, when we have
So maybe
several
100 per
thousand-
year, yes.
Yeah, when you have several thousand students, obviously, I or the professors cannot manage everything. So, but thank you so much. Without you, it wouldn't be possible to run such a big project, I guess, company almost, or organization. And yes, I actually learned something new too. So thank you so much.